Adventure Maidens! Oh boy, I am so excited to be here because something very, very special is happening. Those of you listening cannot tell, but right here in real life, Nassim is next to me. Say something for the podcast.
Hey,
audience.
yeah, sorry. I am right next to Celeste. We're in the same room, and it feels good.
It feels good. Oh my god, we haven't played together like this since PAX Unplugged.
I know.
Oh, and you were at the far end of the table, so that was a bummer. But
we were too far away from each other then.
Now we're so close, and I'm gonna hit the microphone a lot. So enjoy that, everyone. But yeah, so of course, that's one of the many reasons this is a very special episode. But also, we are about to leave the Fey Wilds for the first time in like 10, 11 episodes now, so it's gonna be really special. But yeah, before we dive into that and everything though, hey Rudy, welcome. We're the Venture Maidens. We're a D&D 5th edition actual play podcast. We stream every other week and convert this audio into a podcast. I do also want to say we are a very adult-themed stream, so you will see lots of graphic fantasy violence. We, in general, just keep up a body horror tag for the show. No other specific content warnings for this episode, but yeah, if either of those aren't your jam, this may not be the episode for you to watch. But with that, let's dive in. Let's just get right the hell into it. Hey everybody, my name is Celeste Conowich, and tonight I will be your Dungeon Master.
Hello, I am Katie, and I'm going to be playing Laverius Sath, your Drow Rogue.
Hey, I'm Nassim, and I'm playing your half-orc fighter, Vitonia Silvertail. I couldn't decide her name all of a sudden. Today she's Vitonia, I guess.
Vitonia.
And I am Sage, and I am your totally babely bard, Aoife Flannery.
Heck yes. Heck yes. All right. Well, kids, it was a couple weeks since we got to play it last time, since we've been doing Rime of the Frost Maiden wrap up. So let's travel back in time, everybody, and tell me what happened last time on Venture Maidens.
We
were deep in shit.
Uh-huh.
We got a real bad infestation of dream worms, Fey dream worms, which did we ever get their name?
Did we learn their name?
Nope.
Okay.
You still, honestly, you still haven't asked anyone about them directly to get an explanation. So I'm waiting.
I had full plans to ask Rook, but that's another part of the issue is that Rook is like a hair away from dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got a nearly dead Rook, all these dream worms, and off in the horizon we see this giant ass Fey creature coming towards our house and ready to snack, it seems. But they seem to have like some corruption going on around their neck. So we were trying to figure out why that was happening. And we were alarmed and didn't know what to do. And then Aoife remembered her dream.
What happened in that dream?
In the way that you suddenly recall snippets of dreams, like over the course of your day, had this memory that she had found herself in this. It was like a stone room,
Like a crystal cavern.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was a crystal. Yeah, that's right. It was a crystal cavern. And there was a sort of draconic looking individual, this like kind of, bipedal form, that had kind of bore a bit of resemblance to the little snake-like creatures, little dragon, dream dragons. And
Better than
they
dream
had
worms.
asked,
Yeah. More flattering, I guess.
dragons. And so this individual, which I don't think I got their name
No,
either.
they did
We're
not
so bad at
introduce-
asking that. Yeah,
They did not
yeah,
introduce themselves.
But they had this almost like, well, to Aoife at least, had almost a sort of divine quality about them. And they had asked, like, Aoife, what is it that you dream about? And Aoife shared a bit. And they had said that they dream of having a world that is safe for all of their children, because they, all they want to do is give and be and, deliver dreams. And what's so bad with that? And they are and that they are always an ally, and that they're always looking to help. and was the message that was sort of gifted to Aoife. So when she kind of came to in the moment of like what it is that should be doing while all these little dream dragons are like pecking at our house with their beaks and trying desperately to get in, and not knowing whether they're friend or foe or what to make of this giant, Aoife burst the door open and said, "Let them in. It's fine. I've got this. We're going to help this sick giant and it's going to be okay."
Yeah, and we had full faith. We had your back.
Yep. And then
so then at the beginning of it, Aoife tried to cast it's either lesser restoration or remove cursed in order to lesser restoration in order to try and fix this sort of corruption that was leaking out of this creature, but it was only for a moment that it happened. And eventually we Tony and Lou figured out that there is something lodged within this creature's mouth that was clearly it was reacting poorly to, and so that in order to save this creature, we needed to be able to dislodge it from its throat, and that should hopefully cure it. So it was still raging and thrashing around, and we took quite a beating in the process, but eventually
I literally have 2 hit points right now.
No, I have 6. And so eventually Spirited Away style tied a rope to it, and all of us heaving together pulled it free, and the little dream dragons all the while soaking some soaking some electricity damage that we would have otherwise taken, which probably would have killed us. But they sacrificed their little lives for us, and we were able to pull this thing out, and it was
wow. Now can we say dream dragons? They sacrificed themselves valiantly, so maybe no more worms.
Yeah, okay.
No more worm fucker.
They do. Maybe I described it wrong, but they are like snakes that are kind of floating through the air. So almost like Chinese dragons. Think of it like that instead of like little creepy worms.
Little creepy, a little cute.
Yeah.
They can be dream dragons now,
especially with the little legs. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. What was it that was lodged in that throat? That's pretty important.
Our dear friend Whistler's Corellin bell just jammed that shit right into that poor thing's throat. But the second that we removed it, this thing was so grateful to us and had this just goosebump inducing scene where it tried to communicate its thanks to us. But when we looked at the bell, we saw the birds that were on there, which were Whistler birds, and we knew we had to get the hell out of Dodge as soon as Rook looked at it. And we had a moment of, okay, but where the fuck do we go? And we ended up all just saying where our family was.
Yeah, each of you, which was so cute. It was very cute.
And with that, Rook was like, Chasiana is going to be where we can get the things that we need. So she ordered the house to take us there.
Yeah, great recap. I will say one more little note. Sage, Aoife in the dream, that dragon thing gave you some interesting things about a bird. And also, I would say now that little bird you got, that was a Whistler bird. So somehow
she got a little wooden carving of a Whistler bird, and they had said, "Remember the name."
And you couldn't in the dream, but oh boy, will you now? All right, great. I'm sorry, what was that, Katie?
I was gonna say that Aoife's room is going to change into an aviary at this point.
A bunch of little bird statues.
Yeah, no real birds.
No,
just statues.
Real birds be messy. All right, but that is where we are picking up. So at the very end of last time, after this horrendous battle with this corrupted giant dream fog thing, you had managed to pull this bell out of this thing's, that had been crammed down its throat, I guess, by Whistler. You had run back into the house, in the last moments of consciousness Rook had before just completely blacking out once again. She had seen the bell and said, we need to get out of here. We need to go, asked you where to go, and finally Chasiana had been the answer. And as she commanded the house to move, with that, the house had picked up, and you had felt that familiar sensation you had felt once before when the house had picked up from the front and taken you to Coven. So the house is moving now, but with that, Rook collapses back on the couch. She had kind of fallen from it in a crouched position when you come back in the house, like heaving her broken body, like with a little sad dagger to defend whatever was happening. But you've gotten her back on the couch now. She is out cold. The house is moving. All of these little dragon snake creatures had evacuated the premises at the last minute. So now it's just you three and a very unconscious Rook. And Gordon is somewhere in the house making pouting noises, if you had to guess. Sort of a every once in a while coming from a dark corner. So here we are, gang. What's happening?
Everyone go, wash it off, take some rest. I think we need to do that first and foremost. Take care of each other a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Taking turns sitting with Rook while we get the sweat of battle, because all the gack got removed once the corruption was gone. It just disappeared.
Yeah, all of that creature had this kind of black sludge that was pouring out of its eyes and mouth while the bell was lodged in it. So something about the bell was just causing it to have this violent kind of reaction. So whatever this black sludge was, maybe like mucus or something. Thank God, when the creature was returned to normal, the bell was dislodged. It had evaporated, like the silvery mist that made up the rest of its body. So at least there's no gack. Yeah, that's no gack.
This isn't Nickelodeon.
Nobody got slimed. Well, I mean, you all got slimed, but no more.
Yeah.
Is the little dream dragon that was like wrapped around with me, did the rest of them leave, or are they coming with? What's that situation?
Yeah, so in those last final moments, it seems like most of them had left, like right before the house took off. They had, because a bunch of them had gone up and sat on the roof and, helped you pull that tether. So the majority of them came out during the fight, and most of them died. They basically sacrificed their own bodies to absorb that damage. So that was probably about half of them. And ever since that moment, more and more seem to have been flying out of the windows and creeping out of the doors. So there are a few more remaining here. And the one, I think, Aoife, on your shoulder is still there, but it's clearly getting restless. And it keeps swinging its head to look out the windows.
Yeah, Aoife will turn to Gordon and say, they're allowed to leave of their own accord. You're not to hurt them. And she'll, throw open the windows and everything, and she'll urge them to, go out, little birds.
Yeah, go fly. Yeah, and Gordon doesn't say anything. You're met with a chilly silence as this. But you open up the windows, and all the remaining ones fly out, except for the one still on your shoulder. Which, again, it is, curling around. Like, clearly it wants to go, but it also, part of it wants to stay. And it looks back at you and goes,
It's so cute. And she'll give it little chin scritches, and she'll say, no, it's best to be with your kind. You can always find me again.
And it looks out at the scene around you, which again is hard to say. It's like a train, scenery is moving past you very quickly, though you don't feel yourself moving. Almost like you're on a plane where it feels like you're standing still, but the world around you is moving so quickly. And you can see each of these little things when they get out, they go like, wow, they shoot off very quickly into the airstream behind you. So you're moving very fast. And this thing, it looks back and looks at you, and you can see dawn now is starting to creep up at this point. And as this creature looks, at the rising sun, it makes a decision and bounds off of you, and the rest, whee, disappears into this stream. and you are left now alone. And it's about 5 a.m. at this point, because it was around 4 when this thing started coming towards the house. So, yep. There it is.
Nice. Yeah, afterwards, to appease Gordon, she'll close all the windows again. And the door and everything. But yeah, and then we'll take shifts with the rest of them to clean up.
What are we doing with that bell, friends?
Oh, yeah.
Where are we keeping that thing, Lou? Who's holding it? Lou or...
I think...
she gave it to Aoife because she was like, I don't know, bards, kids, bells, I don't know. Maybe you should have it, but don't ring it.
Up, maybe at the end.
Yeah, we wrapped
it.
You
You definitely wrapped like the little clapper thing to make sure it didn't ring. I remember that. So it's currently it's not in danger of ringing, and it has some cloth wrapped around it in a bundle.
Okay. I assume
you gotta make sure. She had given it to Aoife. She had done that, but when we need to figure out what to do with it too, because we ain't dumb, and this is a world where people can use things like locate object and stuff like that.
That's
so
a very
we will need to
sure can. Why would a Corellin put their bell inside of a Fae? Weird.
Yeah, Lou's a smart cookie. So she's like, once we can, like, I don't even know, would it be smartest to just throw it out the house now
while
we're in between on traveling on Fae lines?
Yeah, either that that makes sense. Or
the little dongle and then throw it out.
I don't know, because I assume it's like a classified magic item too, and you can't really break that shit easily. So I would just try to make sure that it's not gonna ring at all. Like really, like pack it in with like peanuts, and try to get rid of it while we're on the move. Because if we have it and we take it with us to Chasiana, then that's just like, here we are. You want this back? End our lives?
If we can't destroy it, I say we huck it.
Yeah.
I will point out, because I think you all are intelligent people, just the very presence of the bell in that thing's throat seemed to corrupt it and harm it. So even if it wasn't ringing, something about that bell just being there with this Fae creature was harmful. So there is the risk, if you're throwing the bell out into the middle of the wilds, who knows what will happen, or what creatures might be there, or how it might affect the landscape. You don't know.
Let's put it in a box, and then we'll put that box inside of another box, and then we'll put that box inside of an even bigger box.
And then we'll mail it.
And then we'll mail it.
Smash it with a hammer.
And when it arrives...
That's actually how you have to destroy Corellin Bell.
That's the process.
Well documented secret that they've kept for years, but has come to the surface recently.
Can we huck it put it in a jar and just huck it into the mother's delta?
I was gonna say we do the same treatment for now that we did with that Gordon got, and just put it in the freezer.
Put it in the freezer. Nothing can harm you as long as it's in the freezer.
I don't know. I mean, we'll have to talk to people who know better than us about this eventually, but I don't know.
Gordon, Tony asks.
Oh God.
Is it possible for someone to magically trace this house if it's protected in other ways magically?
How do I know? I don't know what kind of magic could be used. But I will say, these things keep following you. So if you make it possible, then perhaps it's possible. and you see this like curling leaf vine whips out from under one of the armchairs in the room while this is happening, and you finally see where Gordon has been hiding, I guess, during this fight.
Well, maybe we wait for Rem to perk up a little bit more.
Rem?
Rem, whoops. Rook.
Rook, yeah. It's okay, I
Who's
call you
that?
Saye still all the time. I had a dream last night where I just kept calling you Saye while we were trying to do a Campaign 2
God.
stream, and I was like, oh no,
That's
this
amazing.
is terrible. That's the kind of shit I worry about in my subconscious.
Well, now I've done it. I've gone and done it. Okay, well, we could just possibly wait for Rook to wake up and get their input, or I would feel better about burying it.
Burying it, that's not a bad option. But either way, I feel like we should wait till we get out of the wilds first before we put it anywhere.
Okay.
I think we're gonna need a lot of magic to quell this magic.
Yeah, you did
Fine.
see with your detect magic, so with your cool glasses that you invented, Lou, you did see that this
So cool.
bell is an artifact level magic item. So artifacts are impervious to most of the things that would suppress or destroy normal magic items. So this is some big ass magic.
This is like, y'all are level 3 bitches. Check
Yeah,
yourselves.
like, y'all have no idea what to do with this.
Okay. Well, let's get there and let's get Rook back in action. That's my number one concern because she knows what the fuck to do way better than any of us are going to. And I don't know. That's mainly what I'm focused on. When we get there, we've got a place to stay. My mom will take us in and we can try to actually rest for a second and catch up with our own fucking selves because we are in deep shit. I'm
Yeah.
feeling. I
It's
just
also
have this feeling.
been like 48 hours since you all got like real sleep at this point because
Very
this is
tired.
all the same day that you all did the bounty hunting job, that you all freed Arrow from. You haven't been to sleep since all of that happened. This has been the longest 24 hours in the entire world.
Wow, I'm surprised I'm not more fucked up, honestly.
Well, Arrow healed you, that's why.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you were healed by magical
My
alicorn.
baby.
Me baby prince. Yes.
Blue's
so,
eyes just twitching from lack of meditation.
I need to center.
I need to center myself.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, you only traveled that one time in the hut so far, and that was from the border to Coven. So you have no idea how much distance you covered in that time, but that took you a few hours. So basically, 5 to 6 hours. So who knows how much time it's going to take you to get from here to the wilds to Chasiana. It's certainly farther away than the front was. So maybe you probably have 7-8 hours now, so you might be able to get in a long rest before you actually arrive in Chasiana.
That would be so nice.
That would be nice.
Wouldn't it be nice?
Well, somebody should let me just sleep out here or meditate out here next to Rook because I only need like 4 hours and then he'll get us breakfast going because I don't know about you guys, but I am just fucking starving after all of this.
Sounds like a perfect plan. And I will stomp off to my room and pass out.
Word. So the plan, what is the plan real quick when y'all get to Chasiana? Where are you going to park the hut? Are you going to park it in the city? You're going to park it outside? And then are you going to head right into, right to Lou's mom's house? Or
This isn't Phelan, so, but it's still, I think, too uptight to stroll in with a Fae Baba Yaga baby house.
well,
So probably just outside the city, just have it sit totally flat, so it looks like it's just a little house sitting out in the country. And
yeah, there's lots of like rolling hills. So I mean, Chasiana is located in the Mother's Delta, and the Mother's Delta is very similar to like Mediterranean climates in our real world here. So lots of like green rolling hills and rivers and lots of big open spaces where people can wander in the countryside. So it won't be hard to find somewhere nearby to park it in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, probably maybe like a couple hours outside of the city. So it would, someone would have to purposely be outside of the city.
Yeah, it's not
even
something
if
some
they
like
don't have chicken shit on their eyes.
Yeah, some jerk can see out of their like skyscraper, and be like, wow. Yeah. Cool.
And then I assume Tony is going to be strong enough to carry Rook in, and then we can take her to my mom's house and she'll know what to do.
Yeah. Actually, how much do you weigh, Tony?
She's at 195 about.
Okay. So Rook isn't too much lighter than that because she's tall. So she's at least as tall as you are for sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Because she's like the 16-year-old who's like landed on your porch now. She's at least as tall as you are, but she is more like lean muscle as opposed to like strength based like you are, because you're bulky, right? You're used to that kind of. But she looks like a swimmer. She's built like that and very well muscled, so she's gonna be pretty heavy. Maybe like 170.
Well, we do have my food cart.
Your food cart?
We can
You
put
have a
her in the
shopping
food
cart?
cart.
I don't. We haven't figured out that logistically yet, where that lives.
Okay.
So I don't think you have that right now. I think maybe Tandy is in the process of like restoring that for you and figuring it out. Because I think we did a very basic trial run, for our live show. That was pretty basic. Mm-hmm. So I think she's decking it out right now. She's pimping Gear Ride at the moment. So.
There's actually a Coven TV show being filmed there
right the whole
now.
time.
Pimp your cart.
And she has to find the little dragon you wanted for it to do the brulees, and she's still looking for that liquor license thing that you brought up. So the hunt continues.
I'm gonna have to get that liquor license, aren't I?
Yeah, there's no way she's ever gonna find that. Paperwork? Are you kidding me? No.
I mean, we'll figure. We can do 2 hours. We'll take breaks if we need to and do what we have to.
Yeah. Okay. So with that, you have a plan in mind, and the night goes on. So Tony, you just go and pass the fuck out, and Lou, you're there meditating next to Rook, just to make sure nothing more strange happens during this night, this eternal night. And Aoife, is there anything in particular you're doing before you head off to sleep?
Yeah, no, nothing in particular. She's is so tired and just like bleary eyed. She just like can't, like, it's that kind of pain where your eyelids hurt.
Ugh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so then you all head to sleep to meditate, and thankfully the night passes without a hitch. And I think most of you actually have to do real sleep well into the morning. So it's around maybe 11 a.m., when the sun starts to naturally wake both Lou and Aoife, or Tony and Aoife up. And Lou, you got your 4 hours, you good. Rook has not moved at all. You actually check if she's dead a couple times, I think. She's not. She's just breathing really, really shallowly. And it's bad. It's bad, but she's remaining unconscious, which is the best you can hope for. So what are you doing now when you wake up probably around, so what is like 4 or 5? So you're like up at 9. And all meditated up, and you've got a couple hours before your companions wake up.
Yeah, she's just making like to-go sandwiches, some like hard-boiled eggs, bacon, lettuce,
God, cute.
stuff like that.
So
Like a
cute.
Whenever
special
that
sauce.
bacon is hitting the fire, Tony's awake.
You smell it. It's ready. It's good. Okay.
Last minute, of course, because
Yeah, you don't
they've
want
got to
you,
keep it crispy.
You don't want nasty old bacon. Yeah.
No bacon for Aoife, just really nice heirloom tomatoes.
Get some Tofurkin bacon going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you all start to wake up and getting ready for the day, and while over breakfast and packing and getting all your armor and everything together, you suddenly feel the house stop. And you haven't felt it move at all, but it's like if you've been sailing on a ship for a few hours and then the minute you land and you like have to stand and you're like, whoa, that's that sudden feeling that overtakes you all as you look at, you peek out that little top bar of window you can see beyond the cute little hanging curtains. And yeah, the full light of day is there, and you can see the landscape has stopped whizzing past you, and now you just see green for miles around you.
I assume Lou
Everybody?
is away from wherever the hell we are now.
Oh, one hopes.
Yeah, I mean, I could get you there. And she just kind of like opens up the door and like sticks her head up. She's like, yeah, I can get you there. Totally. Yeah. I guess, do we have everything? We should probably go as soon as possible because she has not moved an inch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if we've had our breakfast and we're feeling good, I will test out Rook's body mass.
Yeah. You scoop her, and she is still. I think you will tick off most of the armor and stuff. So she's just in like clothes, because most of her armor was like fucked up and torn and spattered with her own blood. So she's just in her clothes right now, which reduces the weight. So yeah, she's probably about 165. Just her body stripped down. So why don't you go ahead and make me an athletics check to see how you're gonna handle this after a very busy few days. What's your strength level?
Oh, also, I'm giving a point of inspiration along with the breakfast that I made using my heroic destiny virtuoso thing to Tony.
Yeah,
since she's gotta carry the big baby.
So I got inspiration.
You do.
Thanks, Mama. I rolled a 24.
Holy shit. So you're like, you know what? This will be kind of a pain in the butt, but I have done worse. And you as a legionnaire in particular, I might carrying a full-size body for 2 hours might bother anyone else. But with your subclass, the fact that you can run for like 800 hours and not take exhaustion, you think you're good. You're like, this is going to suck, but I've done worse. Yeah.
Carried many a comrades before.
Yeah. All right. So we ready?
Some injured, some lazy.
Some just drunk off their ass.
Yeah, it's home from the bar.
Yeah.
It's a long walk from the bar
always one.
to the tent. Yeah. All right, we ready to move?
Yeah, I think we can jump out. And Lou has traveled like all around Chasiana before, just gathering like ingredients and stuff that she wants to use. So I think she probably knows where she is.
Yeah. And so if you're about 2 hours outside of Chasiana, so let's give some context for the folks new to the world of Venture Maidens. So the world we're playing in is called the Plains, called that reason for a few different reasons, but basically little pieces of reality are constantly sliding into, onto, in top of, by each other. So it's constantly shifting. But right now, the main point that all of these folks here are used to, where you all have grown up, is inside the Eldrin Empire. And the Empire is ruled, of course, by the Eldrin, and they have carved out this piece of the material plane and shaped it to be orderly, to have cities, to have most of the place we would recognize. A lot of the benefits we enjoy today in our modern society are here in the Eldrin Empire. And one of the major capitals of this empire, not the capital, but the beating heart and the source of all of the wealth in the empire is the city of Chasiana, which, as a quick reference, you can think of, it's very similar to Venice, where in the Mother's Delta here, where it's situated, there's a ton of just gorgeous agricultural land. So most of the food that feeds all of the Eldrin Empire is grown here. Trade booms in this area because there are 5 or 6 major rivers that actually intersect at Chasiana, which is built on top of all of these rivers here. So you can take boats to get around the city. Water is everywhere. Everything is lush and green. Gardens flourish across the city. It is a beautiful, warm, sunny, balmy environment and filled with artists and culture and, again, money. This is a very wealthy city. So where you are 2 hours away now, you are in those outer lands that are still close enough to the city, but like absolutely gorgeous. So nobles who don't want to live in the city all the time, they might have luxurious apartments in Chasiana, but then these are like their, my summer house. Like you are walking by these kind of estates. And so on occasion you'll walk past like vineyards and farms and just beautiful houses out in this country as you're moving in. So it is very easy for you all to find your way towards Chasiana, which within an hour of walking you start to see tall glittering buildings of marble and glass and all of the incredible things that the Eldrin use in their architecture. That's a good question. Katie, do you want to answer that? Ask that?
Yeah. So did we want to leave the bell in the house or did we want to take it with us?
I think either way is going to give us trouble. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I had slow reactions putting my headphones back on, so I didn't hear the question. I assumed it was the same that's in there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It is the same.
Yeah, whether we're taking or leaving the belt. I think either way, it's probably going to give us trouble, but what do we feel more capable to handle? And I feel like I'd rather it be with us.
My one concern would be if we leave it in the house and it gets tracked there, the house can move. If we bring it with us to where Lou's family is and it gets tracked there, then this fucker knows where all of her family is.
But the house isn't going to be able to move because Rook's not going to be in it to give the command because we're carrying her.
But we can move later if we come back.
Yeah. If they don't find a way to
I don't know. I don't like the idea of leaving it in the house. Because the house has some fey shit going on it too. I don't know what leaving it there will do.
That's a good point. If it corrupted one fey creature, you have 2 in the house.
We need to buy a bag of holding in the city so we can put it in there.
We don't know how long. Yeah, we don't know how long we'll be in the city. So, better we find a way to get rid of it there.
Okay, well, we're not taking it into my mom's house.
No, we can figure out. I think that figuring out what we're gonna do, we should be priority numero uno before we get there. So, do we want to just like huck it in the Delta somewhere?
So the Delta,
in the river.
You could huck it in a river very easily because of all the rivers that flow into Chasiana, but the Delta is still going to be a few hours walk to the south of where you are, because Chasiana is just a little bit north of the coastline, because it's all freshwater rivers here that feed down into the Delta, down to the south.
Yeah, we want to throw it in a river? Or no, you said bury it.
Yeah. Like, we could bury it in Chasiana somewhere else, or... Because I feel like it's a pretty big city, right?
It's a huge city. It's like the size of Rome, easily.
Yeah, I just don't want to pinpoint where we are with, like, leaving it by the house or between the house and the city. I'd rather put it in, like, a bustling area. And then we can at least avoid...
I just worry if somebody finds it and fucks with it, what damage that will do. Because people be all up in Chasiana,
Mhm.
picking shit out of dumpsters
And I
and
will say too,
everything. It's crazy
a very
there.
warm city as well. So there are a lot of migratory folks or people who live on the street. So it's a very busy city. A lot of people. You think it would probably be hard to secretly bury something in the city somewhere, as well, too.
I say somewhere outside of the city, like if we were to make a triangle of Chasiana where we are and where we should bury it, it's like 2 hours away from either that we can walk to. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, do we want to go a little diagonal on our way to the city and bury it on our way there? Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds good.
How are you doing with the Rook on your back?
They can do it. I'm carrying a Rook.
Yeah. Okay.
It's up to you guys. I just want us to bury it.
Yeah, we can, if you're okay with splitting, we can go hustle kind of to the side and then meet back up with you like at the gates to Chasiana. I assume there's gates.
Yeah.
Gates.
There are gates. They're always open. I mean, there are so many different ways into the city. It would be just pure chaos if they guarded all of them, because people flow in by river is the most frequent way to come in. So, and there are rivers that go in all 4 cardinal directions in and out of the city. And then there's lots of foot traffic too, because of course with all of the agriculture going on here, so constantly farmers are coming in and out of the city to deliver produce that, they're loading up onto boats, and there's so much traffic in the city. But you can. There are like 4 main gates on foot, so you could meet at like the southern gate. Lou is probably where you're looking based on where you are.
Okay. Before we split up, does anybody happen to have like a shovel in their adventuring packs?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
All right, we good.
Look at you.
I have never used starting adventuring gear so much in any campaign.
Yeah. It's rough when you start at like.
I mean,
level.
either way, if like I can just summon one with my new bardic feature.
Oh yeah, you can make one out of nothing because you can College of Creation.
What the fuck?
She'll extend her hand and like suddenly like a just shovel just appears in her hand.
That's incredible.
Cool
You're incredible.
It's cool as hell.
Thank you.
Rook
all right,
grounds.
Let's go.
Yeah, so you enact your plan. So the 2 of you can run off, while Tony continues to walk very slowly, bearing the full weight of a person towards the southern gate. And yeah, you can find a spot. Do you want to find like a landmarker, so like a tree that you'll remember somewhere and bury it?
Yeah, so that it's not so obvious that there's like a fucking dirt patch in the middle of a bunch of grass. Like,
yeah, so you,
what could it be?
Yeah, you
Surely
find
no anything here.
A cute country road, and you head over there and you bury the spell very carefully under the roots of this tree and tamp it down, and no problem. There are some people like passing by every once in a while, but nobody wants to either ask you what you're doing or pay too much attention to people burying something under a tree. So they move.
Yeah.
They move along. And you can all meet back up at the gate with no issues. And so Lou, clearly you've spent a lot of time in Chasiana, but Aoife and Tony, have you ever seen the city? I don't think either of you have been this far south before, right?
Well, my family did a lot of businesses around, like, the plains, like, the edges of it, so I don't know if we really...
No, so, okay, yeah, looking at the map behind us, sorry, podcast listeners, but this is... So this is Chasiana right down here, and then you're up in the shifting plains with your family, all the way up here. So you would trade in Phelan, which is on the eastern part here, and then Aoife, your family was up in the valley of Yolanthanal, all the way up here, so almost on the whole other ass side of the country.
Because she had to walk down that way in order, or like travel down that way to get to outside of the Feywalk jungle. So I think she probably just spent like a day and
like
was like just like the first time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it would be just like the first time a 20-year-old was in Vegas, just like eyes huge with all the expansiveness of the city and the lights and everything. Yeah.
And like, well, so Phelan is very much like the New York of the plains. So, and that's where most of your experience, I think, Tony, would have been the city made of iron and glass and all the tall, very scary. It's a very futuristic looking city. Whereas Chasiana is, yeah, I mean, it's beautiful the way it integrates, you know, the land with the layout and just the weather, and there's green everywhere you go. There are hanging flowers, and it's a very lovely, romantic city, I think. So maybe a welcome change from Phelan.
This is beautiful, man. You grew up here, Lou?
Oh, I mean, I've lived here for a long time, but no, I grew up in the underworld, and thank God that changed because this is 1,000 times better.
Wow, yeah. I mean, way to upgrade.
Yeah. So like as you all are walking up to the southern gates, it's just this soaring, beautiful structure, this archway made out of red stone of some kind, carved with, I mean, hundreds of people and places and scenes. It really is walking, you know, under a piece of history here, and you can see just everywhere you look, there are just beautiful explosions of trees and tiny parks and flowers. And as you pass through the main streets, you are surrounded by people. Now, people in carts coming into the city with carts coming out, people strolling in these gorgeous, almost like Renaissance style outfits. So, you know, floor length gowns and just like elaborate hats. And people seem to be generally happy, like strolling about. It's a beautiful day. It's warm. It's a little bit humid, but every once in a while that breeze from the Delta comes through and just cuts through that. And you make your way through the streets, which seem pretty clean considering how many people you see here pressed in and around. Moving through, and very quickly, you know, the smells of the river and of boats and leather and all of the things associated with like trade and industry hit your nose, and you can see, yeah, as you crest that rise and pass through the gates, just the lattice work of river and districts branching out before you. Lou, how do you feel being home? It's been a while.
Yeah, I think she's got a very like uncharacteristic smile on her face looking around. And like as you guys are walking through the streets, she like to the side makes like a really quick transaction between like a flower stall and grabs flowers for like, I don't know, like a silver or something. And takes those into her arms and kind of like hustles and is like, okay, so hopefully everything will go smoothly and I can show you guys around, but we definitely have to go back to that stall because their breakfast, oh God, the pastries. But we need to go up here and then a left and then a right. And then we're going to take a boat and then we can get to my mom's place.
All right.
Do you guys?
We probably shouldn't stay in the city too long.
I mean, you're probably right. But we'll have at least like a day. So well, I'll think about it. We'll get all the best places while we're here.
Oh man.
But yeah,
Paris
come on, we should
tragedy.
Yeah. At least you got a local.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's just kind of like very expertly just like dodging people going through the streets, and eventually I guess we can like get onto a boat because her family's restaurant is like a nice little like riverside little place.
Yeah. And certainly, I mean, the fastest way to travel in Chasiana are the gondolas that move between everywhere. So essentially the city itself, it's very large and sprawling and has lots of different neighborhoods and regions, but it is divided generally in a circle. And the circle is broken into 4 parts, and each of those parts is named for one of the 4 like famous Eldrin dynasties, which are linked to the original 4, you know, daughters of the mother, the first 4 Eldrin women who basically shaped all all of Eldrin culture. So this city is built with those 4 districts named after those 4 daughters. And so getting in between them, the little gondolas here that like go in between the little each of the parts, and then those 2 big waterways that intersect the cities like across are reserved for like merchant traffic. So you can very quickly find one of these little dock stations and hail down a gondola like you would a taxi. And very quickly you are on this gondola, and, an Eldrin dressed in, the red and gold uniform of the gondoliers is, pedaling with their big stick, moving the gondola lazily through the river. And you are drifting past, of course, other of these like taxi cab gondolas, but also like leisure boats. You can see these very long, flat boats of people in just fancy garb, with parasols, leaning back, drinking the day away on these just floating like pleasure barges that move through the city. Everything here seems so, I think, slow. Like it's a slower pace than what you've been used to, especially in the wilds where everything was so different and alien. I guess, what does it feel like being back in a place that, you see buildings and businesses and people that look like you and lots of, I mean, Aoife, what is this experience for you? Like,
she is just absolutely just starry-eyed over everything, practically falling over herself as her eyes are just drawn upwards for these huge buildings, and seeing all these people in these just gorgeous like gowns and fashions, and she's trying so hard to like make a note in memory of every beautiful detail so that she can sketch it later, so that she can remember this like color choice that to write down as for inspiration. And she is just like, she is absolutely in love, and like just constantly walking through with just mouth agape, and is just like, Lou, oh my god, can we just stay here?
Instantly forgetting what Tony said.
Why did you leave?
Yeah, it's
my
easy
mom
to
said
get
it was
distracted
time
when
to
you don't
move
have a
out.
body on your shoulder, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
Right. Oh god. I mean, nothing we can do. We're not the one moving the gondola. But you see her kind of like relax into the chair.
Yeah.
Like the little seat in there.
Oh, no.
Just taking a breath. She seems like much more like, she's a very tense person, but she seems very calm given the situation right now in this boat. She's like, well, we're almost there. Don't worry. Once we get there, we've got a place for us to stay. We'll get Rook figured out. We'll get the stuff that we need figured out so that we can do the house thing and, get some rest, and then we can go. It'll be fine.
Sure. Don't you think we should maybe take her to a hospital or something? Is your mom going to be able to help her out, or are we just taking her there first?
My mom, we're going to get her there, get her rest. My mom knows a guy who will come do a house call.
Okay.
She knows everybody. She's been here forever, so she knows the best of everything.
Well,
but
sit tight then.
No response.
Says over to
The baby.
over her shoulder.
The limp, the dead weight on your back. And Tony, how are you feeling with taking all of this in, or are you just focused on the mission right now?
I think she's just like really frustrated to be the one carrying her, because she does want to explore. She's like, fuck, this place is so cool, but we got this fucking dead weight right now. Once we throw her down, maybe we can sneak out for a little bit, but we really should not be here. And I think she's trying to keep everyone reeled in.
Yeah, for sure. So, that conversation lapses, I think, into a bit of silence. And the gondolier, like any polite cab driver, says nothing and continues to drift down the road with you all. And you come to one of these little side docks that are all throughout the waterways in this city for dropping passengers off. And, you, Lou, expertly pay just, a few coppers to take you a little bit down the road here. And then he immediately has other passengers waiting that get on the gondolier, and that boat is gone. But Lou, you are in your neighborhood, the place you know so well, where you spent so much time. And this is one of the older parts of the city, so it's more central, and the city has kind of spread out from this point. So you are looking at these gorgeous old red brick buildings with lots of overgrown ivy and plants, and everything here is very shaded because the trees are much taller here than they are in the newer parts of the city. And it's a little bit less just traffic than you were experiencing right at the gates to the city. So here it's pleasant. And the folks walking around, they're not the upper echelon of society. Your family's restaurant isn't one of a 5-star like affair where all the food is very tiny plates. This is a great middle class sort of area. It's an old, charming neighborhood. And many restaurants, shops, businesses line the streets, and you can lead the crew through them. And we come to Bucatini. So Lou, would you like to describe what the outside of your family's place looks like?
Yeah, so it blends in with everything. Same red brick, ivy crawling all over it. There's just like a little wooden hanging sign that is just like got a plate of carbonara painted onto it that's kind of faded. And when you open these doors that are just like, it looks like it's been patched up like throughout the years. Like there's like a little stained glass window on the front of it. But like clearly the wood around it has been messed with, as that's been replaced time and time again. There's been coats of paint where you can see a little peeling off on that door. And she just kind of throws it open with just so much like pent up excitement being thrown into that movement. And she just shouts, "Ma, I'm home."
And yeah, so you are looking, you both, into like a front room of a restaurant. And again, big Italian restaurant vibes here. And I know I got in trouble for during the Legacy games saying Italian, but Italia is a district in the city, and it's this district, so eat it. Italian restaurant. So you are looking
Italian
around.
food.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever. It's Italian food. We're dealing with it. And so you are looking at a cozy room full of like armchairs and like overstuffed velvet couches where people might wait to be taken back into the main area of the restaurant. There are pegs on the walls for people to hang their cloaks. There is like a little station, for somebody to take table orders and stuff. All of the lighting in here is very warm reds and yellows. The ceilings are a little bit lower, and every inch of the wall is just crammed with portraits and knickknacks and things that have been hung up and accumulated over long years of having this restaurant open. And you can see through the double doors in front of you leading out of this room is like the main seating area of the restaurant. So lots of tables, corner booths, a long wooden bar, full bar stocked where people can sit up at the counter here, and then more doors leading off to maybe private dining rooms or something. And as soon as you just like kick open the door and yell, you hear a "ah!" from somewhere like back in the restaurant of somebody acknowledging something, maybe off in a kitchen, probably. "Who is that? We're not open for 30 more minutes for lunch." You hear it's like an older woman's voice yell from somewhere in the restaurant.
Yeah. Lou just like gestures towards one of those like overstuffed couches to put Rook there, so you can finally get some rest, Tony. And she's like, "You don't recognize my voice, Mom? Are you kidding me?"
And you hear some more clattering and motion, and you see that there are a couple wait staff that Lou, you probably wouldn't recognize. These are the people who just work front of house. They come, they go. with the summer and university, because also there's all the art schools in this area. People are always looking for part-time jobs. So most of your front of a house you don't know super well. They are setting up, menus and cloths and napkins, and bursting out from 2 swinging doors that lead off to the kitchen. You see, you all see a halfling woman who, halflings are small by nature. They make 3.5, but this woman in front of you is quite old and she has lost about 5 inches there. So she's very small, deep brown-skinned woman with these large glasses and this crisp white apron comes bursting out of the kitchen, wringing her hands on the edge of her apron here. And she looks at you all and says nothing for a moment and then throws up her arms above her head and just launches herself at you, Lou. And she says, "Oh my goodness, I didn't know it's that kind of mall. What are you doing? Oh, back in the city, Chasiana. You didn't tell me? You didn't warn me? You were coming, you just show up like this?
I know.
Oh, your face, look, have you eaten in days? Look at you." And she's like forcing you to lean down and she's squeezing your cheeks and pulling you closer and closer to her.
Lou's just like letting this happen, and she finally like takes the bouquet of flowers that she bought and like shoves it between them. She's like, "I brought you these though, so you can't be mad."
All right. I could never stay mad at you. What are you doing here? What are you? I didn't know you were coming. And she gives you eyes. At that, like, I didn't get any word that you were coming into the city. And looks behind you finally and says, your friends? Hey, welcome to Bucatini. Or are you customers, actually? Because we don't open for 30 more minutes. And she like sticks a little withered finger up in your faces.
We're friends.
These are
Lou here.
friends.
Oh, good. Oh,
and like,
good friends.
Lou makes very sure to like say friends, because like in her home, if you say family, it means say whatever.
Yeah.
But friends, like, still keep it on the DL.
Well, it is a pleasure to meet friends of my little Lou here, my little Loopy, and she, pats you, and is like, dear, what are you, like 10 years old? Oh my God, look at you! You need to grow, she says, and like grabs your shoulders, Aoife, and is shaking you from down below.
And yeah, Aoife is absolutely adoring it, feeling a little homesick herself with such a maternal figure. Is just eating it up, and she says, "Oh, I'm 17. I'll have you know."
I should have known. You're so beautiful. But seriously, I'm sorry. Let's get some food. Actually, come and sit. And you. Oh my goodness, you're tall. She looks up at you, Tony. What's your name, gorgeous?
You can call me Tony. What can I call you?
Oh, I'm Frida, but you can call me Mom. Everybody does. That's why I didn't know it was my own daughter when she's saying "Ma" in the back of the restaurant. You know how it goes. She looks at you, Tony, like in commiseration.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know.
Well, anyway, yeah.
Mom,
do you have time? Do you have a bite? You have time?
Mom.
What's
Mom,
your? She
Mom.
looks at your friend who's like unconscious.
Yes, her. We need help. Can you call a doctor?
Oh yeah, sure.
But like the good one.
Gotcha. All right. Well, do you need to go upstairs, or should we have one?
Yeah,
maybe your friend can wait in here.
Is there somewhere better we should put her? Is she gonna be? You're gonna open in 30 minutes. We don't want to take up your customers' tables.
Yeah, and she does looks up at you, Lou. See what you want to do.
Yeah, we can take her to my room. It's upstairs, just above the restaurant.
Sure. Yeah. Loopy will show you the way upstairs. So just head on up there and stay as long as you like. And Lou, come down. Let them know any food, anything. I'm gonna keep setting up, but you all get settled, and I'll be right up there.
Okay. I'll talk to you about everything soon. Promise.
Oh, I missed his face, she says, and like grabs your face again. Pulls you down.
Mom.
Well, my kids go away.
I'm gonna get a bad back like you. You keep doing that. Okay.
Just talking over you constantly. Yeah.
Eva turns to Tony and mouths loopy with like big eyes like, oh, we're making note of this, right?
Oh, we're gonna call you that.
Yeah, big nods right back. You're the greatest, Frida.
Call me mom.
All right, Mom.
All right, so Katie, yeah, why don't you describe what is like the way up to the restaurant, and what does the family apartment, look like above the restaurant?
Yeah, so I think there's if you go towards the back before you hit like the real back rooms, there's just like a door that is just very undescript, but is locked if you don't have a key. And you can open up like the ancient hardware, and it's just like the tightest, most aggravating fucking like stairs that go up. And to make it worse, on every side, like the photos have continued. Like if you look, there's like a only kind of decent painting of Lou like on one of them, and you see all these other faces of their family and everything like that. And
so you bang your elbows on frames as you're heading up the stairs.
Readjust things as you go. But eventually you guys get up to an actual hallway, and there's like you see that more stairs go up to another level, but there's on this floor alone like 6 rooms on each one. And she goes to a door that's painted pink and takes out another key and unlocks that one and opens it up.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and then so we see this. So this is Lou's room. Yeah.
This is Lou's room.
What do we see?
Got a big,
what does Lou's room look like?
Yeah, it's all just like thrifted finds. Like nothing looks that fancy, but it's like made nice. Like she's taken like extra fabric and like draped it over like this like 4-poster bed with one of the posters that has like clearly been like glued back together. And there's like pillows that have been sewed out of whatever thrown on there, and there's like all these little knickknacks on like this little fireplace in the corner that she has of like little ships and bottles, and just like little paintings of the sea and everything, and a big window that's just has stained glass in it, probably to help her not have her eyes blown out since she's a drow when it gets sunny out.
Yeah. And looking over this room, Lou, is this I mean, you haven't been back in a while. When was the last time you were in this room?
Probably like a year before. She had left because her mom was like, you need to get out of the house. Yeah, like you're stagnating.
Yeah. So I'll leave it all to you while you all get settled, and I'm going to refill. But yeah, here you go. You've arrived in Lou's family home.
You could put her on the bed. It's you guys. I don't know. I've got a blanket. There's not really much in here. Need anything?
For Rook, you mean?
Rook, or for you guys? I mean, Tony, you just walked for like 2.5 hours with a full-grown human. Like, here, take a seat, and she like pulls up a chair and everything.
Yeah, I mean, she'll flop Rook right onto your bed and just make sure they look comfortable and breathing again, checking her pulse, see if it's gotten any slower or faster, her breathing and all of that, and then we'll sit down for a moment. It's like, I mean, don't mind if I do. Feeling okay now that she's off my shoulder, at least. That one really sprung up. Wasn't expecting to reach quite my level that quickly.
I'm kind of torn between giving her the privacy out of respect that she wants, but I mean, if she's going to keep growing like this, she has to understand that we're going to have questions. She's not going to answer us about it forever.
Oh, I bet, on the inside, I bet she's just a big old softie, and, we just have to crack that shell eventually.
I mean,
The fact that
her
she
sister would
basically
probably tell us
sacrificed herself.
if we told them that,
Oh,
like,
did I
we're
tell you
actually
about
with
that?
Rook. Wait, was
I
I not
don't,
there
I don't
when
think
you
we
met
know
her?
that yet. I don't think we've had a minute to talk about that.
No, aren't we all
I
together
think
when we
only
talked to
Aoife
her?
saw the painting.
I don't think Eva shared that yet.
No.
I feel like she also she would feel like it's not her secret to tell you all. Since Rook is such a private person.
Oh yeah, because it was only Aoife who noticed
No.
the portrait of Rook, right, on the wall, with
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Davy. Yeah. Did you didn't tell them about that, Aoife? I guess you
No,
haven't yet.
we've been a little busy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Aoife, you haven't
Yeah.
told anyone. Yeah.
Never mind then.
One day.
Yeah.
Redacted.
Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah. So what are you all? Yeah, you throw down Rook on the bed. I'm assuming.
Yeah, we put Rick down
Yeah.
on the bed and we were kind of talking about how, it's obviously we want to give her the respect of not badgering her about what the fuck is going on with this aging thing, but she's got to know that we have questions because it's very obvious at this point.
Yeah. Clearly,
We got in there with
yes.
like a 8-year-old and now she's 16 or whatever the ages were. So
Over the
Tony
course
just
of like
wants to know,
4 days.
yeah.
is your ass gonna keep growing? Because I don't know if I can keep carrying you around if you end up getting bigger than me.
And why?
so
is
I
it
will-
okay? Is she gonna be like 90 and then die in like 10 days? Like,
Yeah.
So I will say, it appears that Rook has aged a year every single day that you have known her is about the time you would have started to
Lord.
notice.
Jesus.
oof.
So you all have been together,
Yeah.
known each other for 7 or 8 days at this point, as the entirety of this campaign. And so she's gone from being that
Lord.
little like 9-year-old to 16.
Mhm. Well, I mean, I guess we can try to ask her about it again. She has to trust us or feel some way about us to have gone off to try to correct our mistake with those hags, and look at her. She did all that for us. So I hope that, I don't know, she'll open up eventually. It seems, I feel a little one-sided about our relationship at this point. She won't let us do anything for her.
Well, we're doing this for her, so I'm sure at some point.
Yeah, well,
if
she's
they feel
unconscious.
like-
She can't fight back.
Yeah. Well, tell us about this good
Yeah.
doctor that we had to come to your mom's for.
Oh, he's great at his profession. And he doesn't just come over and do house calls for anyone, but Mom has lived here for so long and met so many people that he'd do it for her. So rather than get there, wait in line, be told no because somebody with deeper pockets than us is there first, I figured it would just be best to do it this way.
Yeah. And don't forget, too, clerics are at an all-time premium right now since most clerics lost their power about 10 years ago. So it's rare to find
I
somebody
guess
with
start
the
calling
skill.
it cleric instead of a doctor.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because there are normal doctors, but I think from your check, you
Yeah.
assessed, like, there is nothing a normal doctor will be able to do to help Rook. Like, if your arm
Yeah.
is shattered, if she is ever going to use it again, you're going to need magical healing to fix it. Otherwise,
Yeah.
the rest of her life, she couldn't use it. That's how badly she's injured. Yeah, so, I mean, the fact that your mom would be able to call in a cleric to look at Rook is pretty special. Certainly not the kind of care you could afford going to a normal hospital, with times being what they are.
Mm-hmm. Times they do be changing.
They do be changing. So yeah, is there anything else you wanted to all check in or talk? I guess this is kind of the first moment you all have had to like actually talk to each other in quite a while. So if there's anything you want to say or get out, let me know. And then, Lou's mom will come up whenever.
I don't really have anything else to say at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing in particular.
Okay. So you wait in this room. This room that I think both Tony and Aoife, you would realize, doesn't look quite like a Lou room. Especially all these like weird sea like portraits and like little bottles and stuff. It feels, there are definitely elements of Lou here, but it feels like this was a shared space probably. It's just a little bit weird, It's like being in somebody's like beach house almost instead of their real home. But time passes by, and a few minutes after you all get settled and lapse into silence, you hear a gentle knock, immedately followed by turning of the handle. So more of a warning than a waiting, as Frida like steps into the room, and you see she's got a splash of like red sauce across her apron already in the 10 minutes or so that you've been gone. And she says, "Okay, everything is set. Those." They know what they're doing down there, so let's talk. What's going on? I've already called for the doctor. I owe a few favors, so that will be taken care of. But what are you doing here?
Well, I don't know.
Not that I'm not happy to see you. Of course, I'm happy to see you.
No, I know, Mom. I know. Have you had any word from Charlie in the last few days?
So he's still there. Everything's good. I got one, half legible letter. Your brother. But he said you ran off and did some fairy thing. That's all I got. But I figured, you were gonna be fine. It's him I'm worried about, honestly. He can't learn to write. It's been like 30 years. Moment.
He's got a big heart on that one.
That's true.
And it takes the energy from his brain, I think, sometimes, but he's a good one.
He is.
So yeah, we went out and we were looking for somebody that we worked with. She's just this young little girl who went missing, and we ended up having this big altercation with this Fae thing. And when we got back, a Corellin came in to investigate. And he was a piece of work, and
he was a dick.
He threatened Aoife.
Yeah. I know.
Yes, thank you. He threatened us, and we had met Rook while we were doing that. That's Rook. And she essentially asked us if we wanted to leave and get out of Dodge with her, because this guy was gunning for us after all we did was help this girl. So we decided that we were going to do that, and we left with her, and we thought, wipe our hands of it. That was that. But apparently he's just not going to let it go, because we were off doing our own thing. And he did some shit to this Fae creature and is still after us. And Rook had just come back from dealing with some other Fae chaos. It is bananas in the Fae Wild, Mom. I don't suggest you go there during your retirement. It's not great.
I wasn't planning on it.
Good. But now we need to take care of Rook, who was hurt, saving our asses, because we don't know what to do in the Fae Wild. We don't know the rules. Meanwhile, we didn't take it down. We helped this thing. But we found this man's bell inside of it, and clearly he's following after us. So we don't know how to help her. We don't know how to get rid of him.
About that
bell,
Tony. Mom, please. I'm sure you're happy to see your loopy.
My loopy, and she
don't ever call me that, Tony.
But it's really, really important that no one knows that we're here, that no one knows that Luke came to see you or that anyone was with her. We were never here. Rook was never here.
And you see Frida lets out a laugh and stifles it very quickly as you say that. And she's like, I think I'll be able to handle that.
I have faith. I think you'll be able to handle that too.
And so she looks at you all, and she's listened quietly, kind of assessing the situation. You can see wheels spinning in her head here, and she says, all right, well, I'll get a doctor for the kid. She seems like she's really done a lot for you, Loopy, and she'll be taken care of. So you can leave her here. And then I guess just what else do you want me to do? You want me to look this guy up? This guy who's after my baby?
Whistler. I think anything that we can know about him, anything that we can use to tie his hands so that he just fucks off and deals with something else. I don't know if you can find out any secrets that are good enough to get him to just leave us alone. But you've got connections with all the people you know. So I promise I tried to just leave and start doing something else.
You know how it is when cops. That's just who they are, she says, and she pats your hand. And all right, well, I mean, you want to stay here, stay low, or anything else you need in the city?
I guess if we can, do we have anything that we could actually let these guys have a night on the town to disguise us? Or
I mean, you're here, you're in my city.
I'd hate to
Nobody's
have them
gonna
come
mess with you in my city, kid.
Tony leans over,
you're right.
arms are crossed, eyebrows raised over to Aoife and is like, what kind of fucking connections are they talking about? Is this some underworld shit that we're seeing? What do you mean it's her city?
Slew of the mafia?
Okay. Well, then we'll probably, once we, get a, diagnosis or whatever of what needs to be done, then I would like to go see it. Lark's still in town, right?
Oh yeah. She just got
that
that new gig, that Club Soul, right? It's the big thing. But I mean, she likes it there, and honestly, her boss, he knows some people. It's been good. It's been good for the family. She nods at you meaningfully.
Okay, well, I think maybe
she's working tonight, actually, if you wanted to go in and stop by.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing too, we need some weird shit. And I think, does she have a list of the things that we need?
Okay.
Sorry, weird stuff.
We talking herbs and spices, or what are we talking?
Do we have a list of all the stuff we need to do, like the bonding ritual to the house?
Honestly, you don't.
Okay. Well, we may need it later once Rook is awake, but are you guys cool with me giving over the stuff we made from the bounty to help pay for the things we need?
Oh, don't give me your money, Loopy. No.
Mom, I have a job. Come on.
All right.
Take it.
I'll take half.
Take it.
I'll take half. The other half, you all buy yourself something pretty.
Okay. All right. Well, I love you.
I love you too.
And
kid.
I really appreciate you doing this for us.
Yeah, of course. Do you want to hang out here? You should go upstairs. Don't hang out in this dusty old room. It hasn't been cleaned since you left. And honestly, it wasn't cleaned that well last time. So, hang out upstairs. Do you want me to bring you some food? I'll bring you some food. I'll just send you everything. But I better get down there before they burn down the whole restaurant. And I'll put out my feelers on this guy, Whistler, and then the doctor should be here soon. A couple hours at most.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
You're a gangster, Frida.
Oh, you. She like
Don't call her that.
slaps some of your armor. Probably a thigh piece because she's so small. And then blows you kisses and then walks out and heads back downstairs.
While we're waiting here, and
Tony salutes.
What do you mean? We're just
What?
a big ol' motley bunch that she's adopted in.
I can't wait to meet the rest of your family.
They're all fantastic. Actually, and Lou kind of like is gonna crawl onto her stomach and like lift up the bed skirt and see if Larry's under there.
Oh yeah, you see a gigantically fat orange tabby cat who's got lots of like pieces missing out of his ear, and currently he's in that thing cats do when they kind of sit up like people, and he's like mid licking like his butt as you look at him, and he is frozen there now with his tongue cut in his mouth as he like looks at you with his big yellow eyes.
Oh my god, come here. Ew, come on.
Yeah.
It's weird because I knew you before.
And with like a flop, and you all hear an audible thump even if you're not looking at this cat. You see this like giant cat like squeegees out of, you know, the under the bed and just is purring so loud against your hand, Lou.
No. And she just like kind of like holds him up, you know, so his like hand around his chest, and she's like, this is Larry. He give him more respect than your average cat, please, because he actually used to be a person and got he was incredible, like the most debonair man you've ever met, but he unfortunately was true polymorphed at some point in his life, and now he's retired to under my bed. He still loves ear scritches.
Well, first
She
of all,
like holds them out to you guys.
Tony immediately like melts and is like, "Oh my god, it's a big boy!" And like goes to like scratch the hell out of his belly and like pick him up and swing him around.
Oh yeah, he's very chill. He's one of those cats that just flops and is like in your hand.
Yeah, like a slinky back and forth.
Yeah, his little fat rolls just like flopping all over.
Yes, and secondly. For people watching this, I'm getting slightly doubled audio, so every weird, funny noise Celeste makes, I get it again, like a delayed few seconds later. So it's hilarious every time she makes like a whoosh or a purr or something. I just get it again. It's like my own little sound effects studio. It's great.
I'm your
full. That's why I'm dying over here whenever you make a noise. Okay.
Oh my god.
Larry,
yeah, and she'll like give him you. Larry, yeah. And he's got this big like satin pink bow around his neck.
Oh my god.
Oh, Larry.
Wait, so how did he end up polymorph? I mean, you really gotta piss off the wrong person to end up like that.
I don't really know all the details, to be honest. I wasn't there. And once he's a cat, you know, I don't have any siblings that are druids or anything like that, and he just seemed really happy, so we just kind of let it happen, I guess. But honestly, if you knew him before, just stressed all the time, and now he has just let himself be in the prime of his life.
Yeah,
9 lives.
Don't blame him. I'm sure cat life is the best.
Right?
It's like gravel purring
she just
against
puts him
your
back
body.
down on the bed.
Yeah. And he lays there prone immediately where you left him.
God.
But yeah, that's one of them. Maybe we can meet Lark tonight if you guys, once we feel better about this whole thing, want to go out and experience the city.
Yeah. So you mentioned disguises too. What kind of disguises?
Well, Mom said it's not important. but if you want to do it anyways for fun, she just kind of like goes over to an armoire and like opens it up, and like there is like a whole assortment of like clothes. They're not like super like cute or frilly or anything, but it's just like, here's a cloak, here is the outfit of somebody who looks like a street cleaner, like sort of thing like that. And she's like, we like to do family plays, so
We film family music.
Oh, I
videos.
bet.
In italics, though.
I know.
Family.
I kind of got the idea from
Yeah. It is, yes, family in italics.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Why do you guys keep saying it like that? But I mean, Mom said it should be fine. She doesn't think anyone's gonna mess with us, so
I don't know. I mean,
I trust her.
it is just one Corellin, hopefully. He's not going to bring any band of merry assholes with him.
No, Corellans usually work alone. You would know. I mean, you've had to at least receive some kind of training, I think, from the Eldrin military of like what to do when a Corellin, like, and basically it's code like. It's like if the Navy SEALs show up, like how everybody reacts. So like, okay, let them know. Or like SWAT is here, so you know all the cops like have procedure. So Corellans always show up. They're pretty much always alone because there's so few of them, and you just get the fuck out of their way. So if more than one Corellin was showing up, it would be a huge
we would know.
deal. Yeah, and also if even one Corellin was going to be in the city, people would know. Your mom especially would know if a Corellin was coming.
All right. I like it here. Maybe we can spend a day.
I was hoping you guys would say that. Do you guys see? It was so hard for me to leave. Like, and go to that camp where I had to grow my own herbs.
Yeah, why the hell would you?
I don't know. I just I lost my partner. It was a long time ago, but I just really haven't done anything since then. So my mom thought it would be best if I just kind of got out of the house. So there I was. I mean, it's something like I'm an elf, right? So like if you aren't with somebody who lives for a long time, like you expect it, but it was like really out of the blue. So it was just hard to move on from it with all of her stuff around. But
and yeah,
it's good. I met you guys,
of the room
which
and stuff, and yeah, Tony is like, oh, not expecting it to suddenly get so real. Well, I'm happy you're back home, at least for a little while, and get to see your mom. I'm definitely jealous, especially with this little guy right here. I'm just thinking of my horse right now, Storm. So, yeah, enjoy it.
Yeah, you like him till he scratches on your door at 2 a.m. for food.
Kicks with a hoof. Nay. Yeah. Well, Frida did say she's gonna have a bunch of food delivered upstairs, which is like the main living area. So did you want to pick out some fun costumes?
Yeah. Montage? Costume
like
montage?
Yeah. Costume montage.
Lord.
Super fun.
All right.
Spice Girls.
What is everybody gonna wear? We're going to a fancy club. Bear this in mind.
Yeah, a classy club. So honestly, Aoife is probably the best informed of like what. So I think Aoife actually, while you were coming in, one of the things you were noticing, Chasiana is a very trendy city, right? Like this is the place where, you know, people dream big and invent things. It's not like high fashion couture because that's like Phelan. That is like with the Sarina and like what people wear there. They wear ridiculous things that no one can possibly like move around in. That's like Phelan. High couture. But here more is like this indulgent, like rich kind of vibe. So like the nobility go through trends, right? So why don't you tell us what was the trend that Aoife noticed moving into the city?
Ooh, so I think the current trend, because it's springtime now, right?
Yeah, it's spring.
Yeah, so I think the big trend right now is like big sun hats with just all these different decorations of feathers from local animals, and like some of them even have like, you know, the most wealthy have like even small structures on there. Like there's one with like a cuckoo clock, and like a little bird comes out and it's wearing a tiny hat.
More like sculpture as headwear, I think. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, precisely.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and I think too, because spring, so everything is very like pale pink. It seems to be like hot
Pastels.
Yeah, pastel. So with like fresh greenery as well. So the more fresh green you can incorporate into your look, seems to be the better. So with that in mind, what do you all wear?
I think that we have to like honestly like we have the hat base, right? But like to
work
get
around
something
that
is on that trend, we don't have that. So I think like Lou like has this like work table in her room where she like tinkers with stuff, and she just like opens up 2 drawers and then opens up her window, and there's like a flower box there, and she's just kind of like, you guys can use whatever. Here's glue. Like craft day. Let's take this upstairs and eat food while we work on these.
Oh yeah. Have some fucking Italia food and craft your hats. Sounds like a great fucking afternoon before going to the club. It's a pretty good day.
The club.
Nice.
I would do that. Sounds like a wonderful time. I love a craft day with friends.
Tony's hat is gonna be very much like a mariachi hat,
cool.
Where like she'll glue, instead of like a little pom pom around the edge, it'll be flowers like facing out all around the brim of the hat.
Cute.
I like that.
What is Aoife doing for Aoife's hat?
Oh yeah, so she pulls out like very like thin sort of gossamer yarn, and she'll just like quickly crochet like very fancy ribbons to go around on the outside of different colors. And so it has almost this sort of like gossamer, almost sort of like web look around it.
Ooh. Cute. So I think oh yeah, and then Lou, yeah, what's your look? What's your hat look?
I think she's gotten used to the witch hats from Coven. So she's just gonna like, she has the sun hat and she uses like some stiff material to make like a cone on top, and then just covers the whole thing in like flowers. So it goes up, and then she's like, I don't know, and throws a ribbon on it.
Yeah. Done. So you all are grabbing everything you need to make these hats, right? And heading upstairs. So I think, you all have been shown the way up to like the big cramped living room, which looks exactly like the rest of the house. It's clean, but there's so much stuff. Like the stuff you have when you have so many people in your family and you want to remember them all, and you all have collected trophies and photos and like portraits and just 100,000 things crammed into this house, stacked high with stuff, and all the furniture is well loved, let's say, like, and can accommodate like easily a family of 10 at any time, could be in any space. So long dining room tables that have been like shoved into this apartment, and just couches that big L shapes with overstuff. There are pillows everywhere. There are Afghans everywhere. Like so many blankets. You have no idea how you would ever need this many blankets in your entire fucking life, but here they are everywhere. And Larry, follows you all upstairs, and Aoife and Tony, you get settled with all of your stuff, and there's like steaming piles of Italian food around, and it's just like, it's gorgeous. And Lou, you have to run back downstairs to, get some stuff, and your hands are full of all of this crafting stuff. And I think for the first time, Lou, you're like alone in this space, and you see your crafting drawers open, and Rook is there, unconscious, and it's like your new life and your old life just meets together in this strange moment. And think we're going to do a flashback scene right here. Because I think the pain of this room is maybe that last time. I don't know what it is about now, like, seeing your life change so much that, like, awakens that memory, that day, that last time you were with Jada before she went off for that cruise, that fateful voyage that was supposed to be so easy. And that early morning, like 4 a.m., 5 a.m., where she was about to go. Her bags were packed. And you're, drawn out of your meditation by these little string of kisses on your forehead. And you see Jada, with her wiry golden curls and her orange scarf, like, being tied in place right now as she's getting her waist cincture and, getting everything ready for the day. And she's looking at you with those big, gorgeous eyes and says, "Hey, you awake?" Kind of taps on your head on the outside.
And Lou just kind of stretches and smiles at her and reaches out an arm and kind of like pulls the scarf towards her. And she's like, "You don't like really have to go this time though, because this bed is really comfortable.
If I could
you could
stay,
just pop
if I
back
could stay,
down."
I would, but I'll be back so soon. This is another easy one. Just here, back to the Jade Isles. No problem. She kisses your nose.
Easy for you, but I'm here, miserable every time. Look at how big this room is. I can't live like this. I need company. And she like gets out of bed and like makes her way over towards a corner where she's like already got like a pre-packaged like cured meats and like pickled veg situation in a bag for her, and like kind of like lazily drags it over. And she's like, "But if you have to go, I made you this really great snack pack so that while you're eating it, you can think of me and also rethink your opinion on marriage and how you think it's a construct. And then maybe when you come back, there can be like a really fun party, maybe some exchange of rings, whatever you're feeling."
And Jada does the maddening thing she always does, where she like quirks a head to the side and waits for you to talk yourself out. And once you have, she smiles and scoots to the edge of the bed and grabs your hand and looks into your eyes in that way that only she can do, that just looks right through everything you're feeling in that moment. And she says, "If you're good and you let me go this time and don't give me too much fuss, you know what? Maybe when I come back, I think we should do something special. I mean, the more and more I think about it, I don't know. I know you've basically got forever, right? So who am I to, not get a little piece of that?"
Wait, really though? Because really, you.
And she like smirks like she has a secret, and she says, "Okay, well, I was gonna surprise you, but one of the reasons I took this job was to get a little bit of money to buy you something really special. So," and she kind of waves a hand, and you can see her. She reaches up for the scarf every way she does, like when she gets choked up, because it's a little bit harder to hide her Adam's apple there. So she puts the gesture to her face, and kind of waves a hand towards your coat that's hanging on a peg by the door, and waits.
Oh no, wait. And Lou kind of like stands up and like walks towards it, but like keeps looking back with like
And
side eyes
she
every
is
time.
just hovering her smile so much, like shoving that hand in her face so you can't get a read as you're walking closer and closer to it.
And she like digs her hand into the pocket, looking,
You feel
takes whatever's in there.
A ring-sized box.
She opens it up. And
what would Lou's perfect ring look like? Someone who knows you so well, probably better than what Lou would think of for herself. What does that look like?
Yeah. I think that it's like looks very no fuss, like there's no stone on it or anything like that, because when you're making bread, you get jam up in there.
Yeah.
You just can't have that. So it's just like a pure band of like just the most shiny looking silver tinted metal that just has little roses around it, but each rose is connected with a vine that has like the look of a wave throughout the pattern of it. And she just closes the box for a second and opens it back up, and she's like, I don't know if I should say I hate you or I love you so much right now.
Well, I mean,
but I'm gonna say
you ruined the
yes.
surprise. Okay.
Yes.
Well, good.
I know. There's no way this could ever be ruined.
I know. She leaps over and she's crying. You're crying, and it's just like, she's holding you, and she's like, and we can do whatever you want. If you want some weird elvish thing, you want a weirder sailor thing, it's all fine as long as I get you.
Oh my god. I mean, there's so much to plan. I mean, at least I'll be busy.
Right. Yeah.
While you're gone.
Please, God, do not tell your mom until I come back, because I cannot. She would kill me. She would actually kill me if I didn't ask her first. So we're just secret, okay?
Babe, I promise you I'm gonna do my best, but she hears things on the fucking wind, I swear.
I know. All right, well, it's only a month, and I'll be back.
Okay.
So get it together. Get everything together. However you want. And then we'll do forever.
Deal.
And she looks at you.
I love you so much. And she just like reaches up and like tangles her hand in her hair.
Yeah, she holds you again. She holds you again, and she's like, "Don't worry. Melora's on my side. She's got my back. I'll come back to you, okay?"
Well, praise fucking be, because she. Okay. Yes, we're doing it. Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, take your. Okay. Oh, you really have to go. Okay, you have to go so I can get the wedding.
I'm gonna be so late.
Okay.
She grabs all of her stuff, and that that duffel bag, you've gotten so used to it every time she has to head out. And like that, those were the last few minutes that you ever saw of her. And we're back in the present, in that empty room. And that promise that was never fulfilled. Because she never came back.
Lou walks over to one of like the 15 ships in a bottle that's on the mantle.
Yeah.
And she just like runs her finger over it. And she just starts collecting them all off the mantle and just starts tucking them away in different places of the room. And gets what she needs and looks back at Rook on the bed and just thinks to herself, no matter what happened, you can take care of people, and covers Rook up and just gets the fuck out of that room.
Yeah. With that, That feels like a pretty good place to end this episode. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us. Yes, well, I'm not crying, you're crying. For episode 12 of the Venture Maidens podcast. Cool. Yeah, sorry, Katie, I messaged you earlier. It's like, we gonna do a flashback. And Katie's like, oh, Lord. I'm like, I know.
What a flashback. Just title this episode Emotional Damage.
Emotional damage.
Oh.
Save me some trouble there. So thank you, everybody, so much for joining us. And you know what? Spoiler alert right now. We, in real life, as you all are watching this, we are about to record the second episode. So we're going to be wearing the same clothes next time. So please don't judge us. But that will be a pre-recorded episode that we're airing. So I'm excited to, pick this right back up. But thank you, everybody, so much for joining us. Oh, also get those Patreon donor names ready, Katie.
Yes.
But yeah, hey, if this was your first time joining us, welcome. We're the Venture Maidens. We stream episodes of this campaign every other Wednesday on Twitch. So make sure to join us there, 6:30 Pacific time, 9:30 Eastern at that start time. And of course, if you enjoyed this, please do subscribe, like, follow, tell your friends about us. We are everywhere on social media at Venture Maidens. So please do give us a follow. Let us know. Give us a review on Spotify. Actually, you can't give us a review. I have learned the hard way. You can give us stars on Spotify. They still don't have the review feature available, which I was confused about too. So don't feel bad, everybody in your mid-rolls, about saying otherwise. But thank you so much. It really means the world to us when you tell folks about the show, because that's how we grow it. We also, before we sign off here, we always like to give an extra special thank you to our Patreon donors. Patreon is a great website where you can basically go and donate to your favorite creators every month in exchange for cool stuff. So you can head over to patreon.com/venturemaidens and get, for as little as $1 a month to support what we're doing, get access to hundreds of bonus episodes and coloring book pages that Katie makes every month, and show notes, and just so much good stuff. And we want to say thank you so much to our patrons who donate at the $25 and up level every month, because you make all things possible for us. Like, you keep the lights on, you make our show better and better, give us more resources. You all rock. So let's go around here, and I'm going to say thank you so much to Cody Becker at Cody Rolls 4 on Twitter.
You're muted.
And thank you to Debbie.
Thank you, Curry.
Thank you, Muffin, at the one on Drury Lane on Twitter.
Thank you so much, Nissa McKinnon.
Richie113 from our Discord server.
And from Farrah's Drinking Mates tier, Chris, thank you.
And Kevin, you rock.
Oh, thank you all so much. Is there any business? This will be airing on Wednesday the 26th, so is there anything that Monday?
Well, if it's gonna be airing the 26th,
Yeah, so
our Path and Prophecy game will have already happened for the week. So I think,
Okay. No. Right. Any other business?
Calendar.
Well,
By myself.
some of you
Ooh.
might already have known that I'm doing a show right now in Seattle, which is why I am here right now with one of my best friends. Yes, so I am performing in the show Hotter Than Egypt. It's a world premiere at ACT Seattle. We have previews going on from, I think, the 28th, and then opening night is February 3rd, running until February 20th. And I know a lot of folks obviously are not in this area, but I learned recently that we will do a streamed version because of COVID.
That's
So
awesome.
Yeah.
if people do want to see it at all, find me on social media at Nazgul everywhere. I'll post about it there and tell you about how you can watch it if you're interested.
We're also going to drop the link right now in chat, so look at it.
Yeah, and if you are in the area, come see the show. It will eventually move on to the Bay Area as well, but that's where we are right now.
This is why we're recording some episodes in advance, so that's why we're going to be wearing the same clothes next episode. When you see
I appreciate everyone here and all of you viewers for letting us do this. So, yeah.
Thank you. And Katie,
I'm so excited I can watch now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have Venture Maidens campaign 2 soaps still in my Etsy store. You can check them out. There is I almost said flavor, don't eat the soap. There's a scent for each character and the overall campaign mood, because we know we got to get Celeste too. You should buy them because they're only going to be there once. So get them, because when they're gone, they are gone. Yes.
They smell beautifully.
That is Tony's scent.
In time. My Saya one was running out. Now I have Tony.
Tony has been like smelling up my office in the best way in the last.
I have some people who said they bought it and then they just like left it in their office, and then summer hit and like their whole room just
my
sent,
whole
like
room
those
smells
like wax melters,
and it's very good. So yes. Hell
that's
yeah.
all.
Check it out. So check it out, everybody. Other than that, I think that's it. Let's go. So hey, everybody, my name is Celeste Gonowich, and tonight I was your dungeon master.
Hello, I'm Katie, and I played Loopy, your drow rogue.
And I'm Nasim, and I was your half-orc fighter, Fitonia Silvertail.
And I am Sage, and I have been your baby bard, Aoife Flannery.
Oh, wow. Oh, gosh. Great episode, everybody. Can't wait to do it again in just a little bit here. So, I mean, until next time, everybody. Venture away! I was looking at you at the same time. You know what? Okay, whatever. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Recording stopped.